What if you're not just one body, but seven? Could it be that ancient wisdom was pointing to something science is only now beginning to understand? Are we really existing simultaneously across multiple dimensional layers? Is your physical body just the most obvious layer, while you also possess an etheric double, an emotional body, a mental body, and three spiritual bodies? What if each operates at different frequencies, like radio stations broadcasting on different wavelengths? How might understanding this change everything about personal growth and healing? All spiritual teachings have always suggested we're more than just physical. Some speak of body and spirit, others describe multiple planes of existence. Modern quantum physics talks about parallel realities and frequency states. What if all these teachings are pointing to the same truth, that consciousness naturally operates across multiple frequencies? Sometimes you're analytical, sometimes emotional, sometimes receiving pure intuition. Could these be different dimensional bodies activating? You might be constantly navigating between frequency layers without realizing it. Everything is made of atoms. This isn't mystical. Those atoms are mostly empty space, vibrating energy patterns carrying information. Ancient teachings describe the physical body as the densest layer of consciousness. Modern studies show that DNA responds to electromagnetic fields and even thoughts. What if your physical body is literally crystallized information? Research demonstrates how beliefs can change cellular structure. This explains why consciousness work affects physical reality. Your body is more like a hologram than solid matter. Traditional healing systems have always worked with energy pathways surrounding the physical body. Scientific photography appears to capture energetic emanations from living tissue. Researchers documented the phantom leaf effect, an energetic imprint remaining after physical removal. What if there's an etheric template that holds the blueprint for physical form? Disruptions here manifest as physical symptoms later. This bridge between matter and consciousness explains how intention affects healing. This is why information can change physical reality. Research institutes measure how emotions create electromagnetic fields extending several feet from the body. Ancient teachings describe emotional energy as life force that shapes reality. Spiritual traditions explain how emotions create imprints that attract similar experiences. Studies show that gratitude and love generate coherent patterns, while fear creates chaotic ones. What if emotions aren't just feelings, but broadcasting systems? Your emotional frequency might be constantly co-creating your reality through resonance. The same types of experiences keep appearing in your life. Themin might operate like programmable software. Mental patterns could be consciously altered through focused intention. People might be running unconscious programming inherited from family and culture. Deep mental patterns could be rewritten when you understand how this works. You might consciously install new mental software. These new ways of thinking create entirely different life experiences. The question isn't whether your mind can be programmed, it already is. The question is whether you're programming it or it's programming you. Beyond the mental realm lies three spiritual bodies, operating at frequencies most humans rarely access consciously. These could be your connection to higher wisdom, universal knowledge, and expanded consciousness. When you learn to operate from these levels, you might gain access to information and abilities that seem impossible. Intuition, healing, manifestation, and spiritual gifts could emerge naturally when you function from these higher dimensional aspects of yourself. Evolution might not be just biological. Consciousness itself could evolve toward higher complexity. Human awareness might naturally develop through stages, expanding your ability to function across more dimensions. Some individuals might seem naturally intuitive or spiritually gifted because they're operating from more evolved frequency levels. Each lifetime, each experience, each moment of growth could expand your capacity to function consciously across multiple dimensional layers. Comfort zones might protect the ego from perceived threat. Fear of change could be universal across all humans, yet infinite potential might remain available to everyone. Consciousness could naturally want to expand while personality structures resist. This resistance might serve a purpose in early development, but becomes limiting later. The paradox is clear. Everything you need for growth might be available, but something inside fights against accessing it. As consciousness evolves and gains power, you maintain free will to choose your path. However, the universe might operate on natural balance principles. Actions create consequences. Frequencies attract matching experiences. If you use expanded abilities for selfish purposes, you naturally attract chaotic results. If you serve growth and love, you attract harmonious outcomes. It's the natural law of resonance. Your choices determine your frequency and your reality. The universe simply reflects back what you put out. The barriers between dimensions might not be walls, but frequency thresholds. Accessing higher dimensions could work like tuning a radio. When you match the frequency, you gain access. Love, compassion, and service might naturally elevate consciousness. Fear, anger, and selfishness could lower it. You might be constantly moving up and down a frequency spectrum based on your emotional choices. The doorways could be your states of being. Each choice might literally tune you to different dimensional frequencies. What if consciousness itself is information? Every thought, emotion, and experience exist as accessible data in the quantum field. Everything that ever existed remains available as information. Every consciousness that ever lived, every piece of knowledge ever discovered. Some people might seem to download knowledge they never learned because they're accessing these information fields. When you learn to tune into these frequencies, you might request information from any source. This could explain insights, creative downloads, and intuitive knowing. The first step might be noticing which frequency you're operating from. Conscious awareness itself might be the navigation tool for moving between your 7 bodies. What if you could learn to deliberately shift between these states? The practice might be as simple as asking yourself, which body am I operating from right now? When encountering multidimensional consciousness concepts, you might notice internal resistance. Something could say this is too weird. This might be your current programming protecting itself from change. What if recognizing this resistance as natural, not personal failure, could be the first step toward expansion? The resistance might be information about your current frequency. The stronger the resistance, the bigger the potential growth waiting on the other side. Your old paradigm could be fighting to maintain control. Every experience might offer a chance to operate from higher consciousness. Instead of, why is this happening to me? You could ask, how might this serve my evolution? This shift from victim to student could literally change your frequency. Life itself might be a multi-dimensional curriculum designed to expand awareness through every single experience. What if challenges are actually invitations to access higher dimensional perspectives? Each moment might be calling you to go beyond your current frequency level. You are not just a human having a spiritual experience. You are a multidimensional consciousness. You are learning to operate consciously across all your frequency bodies. The future of human evolution is about expanding beyond the limitations of single-dimensional awareness. It is about moving into full multidimensional consciousness. You have 7 bodies, infinite potential, and access to all knowledge. The question isn't whether this is possible, it's whether you're ready to expand. It's about expanding into who you really are.